Look at this face. For 2 decades, it was the symbol of the Chinese dream. Jack Ma, a former English teacher, built an empire from his apartment that eventually handled more transactions than Amazon and eBay combined. Alibaba wasn't just a website. It was the backbone of China's digital identity. But as we stand here in 2026, the dream has turned into a corporate tragedy. The giant that once commanded a trillion-dollar valuation is now fighting for its life, stripped of its power, divided into pieces, and haunted by the very government that helped it grow. This is the story of the fallen dragon. This is how Alibaba lost the future. You see, Alibaba's downfall wasn't caused by a single mistake. It was the perfect storm of political friction, internal chaos, and a new generation of competitors that moved faster than anyone expected. Today, I'm going to reveal the secret timeline of the Alibaba decline, the true cost of Jack Ma's public disappearance, and why in 2026, the company is being eaten alive from the inside out. This isn't just a business story. It's a warning about what happens when an empire gets too big for its own territory. To understand the crisis of 2026, we have to go back to the moment the music stopped. In 2020, Jack Ma gave a speech that changed everything. He criticized the Chinese banking system, and almost overnight, the world's largest IPO, Ant Group, was canceled. It was the beginning of a cold war between the tech giants and the state. In 2026, the results of that war are clear. Alibaba has been hit with record fines, forced into a massive restructuring, and broken into 6 separate units. The unified empire is gone, replaced by a collection of smaller entities that are struggling to find their way in a hostile environment. But while the government was attacking from above, a new enemy was attacking from below. We call it the Temu effect. For years, Alibaba's Taobao and Tmall were the only games in town. But then came PDD Holdings. They didn't just compete on price, they gamified shopping. They moved faster, they were more aggressive, and they captured the lower-tier cities that Alibaba had started to ignore. By early 2026, the market share that Alibaba spent 20 years building has been eroded in less than 5. The giant was too slow to react to this social commerce revolution, and now they are paying the ultimate price in lost revenue and relevance. Let's talk about the corporate split. In an attempt to stay agile and appease regulators, Alibaba divided itself into 6 divisions: cloud, e-commerce, media, logistics, and more. The idea was that each could grow independently. But in 2026, the reality is much darker. Without the massive cash flow from the central e-commerce engine, the other divisions are struggling to survive. The synergy that made Alibaba great has vanished. They are no longer a cohesive force. They are 6 different companies with 6 different problems, all fighting over a shrinking pie. The dragon wasn't just tamed, it was dissected. Inside the headquarters in Hangzhou, the atmosphere is one of exhaustion. The 996 work culture that Jack Ma once praised, working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, has backfired. In 2026, the brightest young minds in China are no longer looking for a career at Alibaba. They see it as a legacy trap. They are moving to newer AI-native startups or fleeing the tech sector entirely. This human capital crisis is the silent killer of the company. You can't innovate when your workforce is burned out and your best leaders have been replaced by state-aligned bureaucrats. And then there is the cloud crisis. Alibaba Cloud was supposed to be the Amazon Web Services of the East. It was their ticket to global dominance. But in 2026, geopolitical tensions have locked them out of the most lucrative markets in the West. At the same time, domestic rivals like Huawei and Tencent have used their political connections to steal massive government contracts. Alibaba Cloud, once the crown jewel of the future, is now a division in search of a mission. They have the technology, but they no longer have the trust. And in the world of data, trust is the only currency that matters. Look at the financial reports, and you'll see the China discount. Global investors have pulled hundreds of billions of dollars out of Alibaba. They no longer see it as a growth engine. They see it as a political risk. In 2026, The stock price reflects a company that is being managed for stability, not for greatness. The days of double-digit growth and world-changing innovation are over. Alibaba has become a utility company, necessary but uninspired. They provide the pipes for the old economy while the new economy is being built by people who aren't afraid of the spotlight. So what is the endgame for Alibaba? In the business world of late 2026, we are seeing the final stage of the state absorption. Slowly but surely, the boundaries between the company and the government are disappearing. Alibaba is becoming a national tool for social and economic control rather than a competitive business. Jack Ma is a ghost, seen only in rare, carefully staged appearances. His creation has survived, but its soul is gone. It is a cautionary tale for every tech titan who thinks their platform is more powerful than the flag. The lesson for you is that in the 21st century, business is always political. Alibaba thought they could outgrow the system, but the system always wins. They built the most efficient marketplace in history, only to find that efficiency doesn't matter if you lose your license to operate. In 2026, the world of global e-commerce is more fragmented and dangerous than ever. The dragon is down, and 1,000 smaller predators are fighting over the remains. Will Alibaba ever reclaim its throne? Or is it destined to be a utility provider in a world that has moved on to the next big thing? The clock is ticking, and the competitors aren't slowing down. What do you think? Is Alibaba still a good investment? Or is the risk too high for any reward? Let me know in the comments below. We're watching the fall of the giants so you can see the rise of the next opportunity. Hit that subscribe button and stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.